Two people open the same shopping page at the same time. Same product, same seller, same ordinary Tuesday night. One person sees $14. The other sees $22. Not because the product changed, not because a truck arrived, not because the store ran low. The difference may be the person holding the phone, their location, their shopping history, what they searched before, how long they hesitated, whether they normally compare prices, even what they left sitting in a digital cart. On August 19th, the Federal Trade Commission announced a proposed enforcement policy aimed at exactly this problem. Companies using personal data to estimate what one particular person may be willing to pay. That means the price tag may no longer be telling you what the product costs. It may be telling the seller what it believes you can be made to surrender. Subscribe to They Keep You Broke. We investigate the ordinary systems that quietly change what you pay. And today, the price tag is looking back at you. For most of modern American shopping, the price tag performed one simple job. It put the offer in public. You could see it. The next shopper could see it. A competitor could undercut it. You could walk away, return tomorrow, or tell somebody across town exactly what the store was charging. The system was not always fair, but at least the number was standing in the open. Online shopping changed that visibility. Each shopper can now enter through a private doorway. You normally cannot see the products, discounts, rankings, or prices shown to the person who arrived 30 seconds before you. That private doorway created an opportunity. Instead of asking, "What price should we put on this item?" a seller's system can ask a more profitable question. What price should we show this person? The FTC calls this personalized pricing, when personal data is used to set a price according to what a company believes an individual consumer is willing to spend. That is not a coupon clipped from a newspaper. It is a private negotiation in which only one side knows a negotiation is happening. In its surveillance pricing investigation, FTC staff reviewed documents from 6 pricing and consulting intermediaries. Those intermediaries worked with at least 250 clients selling goods and services, including grocery, apparel, and general retail products. The inputs described by the agency were not limited to what somebody bought. They included precise location, demographics, browsing patterns, shopping history, the channel used to make a purchase, and previous activity with a seller or its partners. FTC staff said behavior as small as mouse movements on a page or the products left unpurchased in a shopping cart can be tracked and used to tailor pricing. Think about that the next time an app sends, "You forgot something." Maybe you forgot the item. The system did not forget you. All of those signals can feed a prediction. Are you loyal? Are you rushed? Do you usually wait for a sale? Are you shopping from a location associated with higher income? Do you compare across several websites? Or do you click the first acceptable result? The computer does not need to know your soul. It only needs enough evidence to estimate your breaking point. Then the ordinary price tag picks up strings, location, history, urgency, habits. The number is no longer attached only to the product. It is attached to a profile. We need to draw one important line. Prices legitimately change. A hotel may cost more during a major event. A rideshare price can rise when demand suddenly exceeds the number of available drivers. Shipping, taxes, regulation, inventory, and geography can all affect a real delivered price. Insurance and credit have also long used individual risk information because the product itself is built around individualized risk. That is different from quietly deciding that one shopper should pay more for an ordinary consumer product because an algorithm believes that shopper will tolerate it. The FTC's current proposal does not claim that every shifting online price is surveillance pricing. It also says the full extent of personalized pricing today is not well understood. That uncertainty matters. We should not invent a conspiracy every time an airfare changes. But uncertainty is not reassurance when the machinery already exists, the inputs are already being collected, and the person being measured cannot see the other offers. The question is not whether every price has already become personal. The question is why the shopper is the last person permitted to know when it has. A friend of mine worked at Walmart, and he was genuinely excited about electronic shelf labels. He had a reason. Walmart says a store can carry more than 120,000 items. Changing thousands of paper labels could consume days of employee time. With digital labels, approved updates can be pushed in minutes. The same tags can flash to help workers stock shelves and find products for pickup orders. That is not sinister. It is a useful tool solving a real operational problem. Walmart's own March 2026 explanation says its in-store prices are the same for all customers in a given store, remain consistent regardless of demand, time of day, or who is shopping, and are normally updated outside shopping hours. It also says the labels operate on a closed system and do not collect information about shoppers. We should say that plainly, because a digital price tag is not proof of surge pricing or surveillance. A 5-year study of one U.S. grocery chain also found essentially no meaningful increase in temporary price surges after electronic labels were installed. But here is why people are still paying attention. The physical cost of changing a shelf has collapsed. The FTC's separate pricing tool research says some systems can generate recommendations on schedules ranging from monthly to minute by minute, and that websites or electronic shelf labels could implement changes with similar frequency. The tag is not the decision maker, it is the delivery system. Today, a responsible store can use that speed to correct mistakes, reduce wasted employee labor, or mark down food before it spoils. Tomorrow, the same speed could support increases based on time, demand, or weather, if a retailer chose those rules and the law allowed them. So the honest question is not, are electronic labels secretly watching every shopper? Walmart says its labels are not. The question is, what pricing rules will companies be allowed to send to those labels once changing an entire aisle takes minutes instead of days? That is the bridge between an efficient tool and an unfair market. Not the screen, but the instruction behind the screen. A Swiss friend once described building ways to market insurance at different prices depending on the person receiving the offer. That idea has a formal name in the insurance world: price optimization. Insurance has a legitimate reason to price risk. A driver with a history of crashes can cost more to insure than a driver without one. That is different from charging two equally risky customers different amounts because one is less likely to leave. The National Association of Insurance Commissioners examined that distinction in a 2015 white paper. It described individual price optimization as setting prices at the individual policy level using both cost and demand. Demand models could estimate how likely a customer was to renew a policy or accept a quote. A dated 2013 survey cited in that paper found that 45% of large insurers surveyed were then using some form of price optimization, while another 29% of all surveyed companies said they planned to. Those are historical survey figures, not a claim about the exact market today. The principle is what matters. Risk asks, what will this customer probably cost us? Price optimization can ask, how much can we charge before this customer finally shops somewhere else? The NAIC paper put the regulatory concern bluntly. Charging somebody more because of their willingness to look elsewhere does not reflect a genuine increase in the insurer's expected cost. In other words, loyalty can become data proving you probably will not leave. Then the reward for staying is not necessarily a discount. It may be evidence that the company has room to raise the price. Personalization does not have to appear as an obvious surcharge. It can arrive as a discount, a promotion, a ranking, or a specially selected offer. FTC staff found that some intermediaries could determine individualized prices and discounts using granular consumer information. They could also place higher-priced products in front of particular consumers based on search and purchase activity. The agency gave a clearly labeled hypothetical. A shopper profiled as a new parent might be shown more expensive baby thermometers first. Notice what happened. The system did not have to change the sticker on one thermometer. It changed the shelf. That distinction is enormous. If the expensive option appears first, looks recommended, and arrives with a bright, "Picked for you" label, the shopper may never discover the cheaper item underneath it. And when the offer says, "Your exclusive price," what does exclusive mean? Lower than the public price? Lower than yesterday's price? Lower than the price assigned to somebody the system expects to spend more? Or simply the highest number the seller believes will still make you click? A personalized discount cannot be judged when the baseline is invisible. The coupon may be real, but the comparison can still be theater. If you have ever watched a price or offer change after searching more than once, tell us the product category in the comments. Not the retailer and no personal information. Travel? Groceries? Tickets? Household products? We want to see where viewers are noticing the pattern. Markets are supposed to discipline prices through comparison. One seller asks too much. The buyer sees a better offer and leaves. Personalized pricing can weaken that defense because the seller may be estimating whether you are likely to compare in the first place. The system can also create urgency, a countdown, a claim that only 2 remain, a warning that other people are looking, a discount that seems ready to disappear if you dare to check another tab. FTC staff warned that surveillance pricing systems could create or exploit obstacles that keep consumers from discovering competing offers, including false urgency that makes a displayed price feel temporary. Now the seller may know that you searched, know that you returned, know what device you are using, and know that an item is waited in your cart for 3 days. You still see one number. The seller sees a negotiation strategy. Some personalized pricing can benefit some consumers. A company might offer a lower price to win a price-sensitive shopper. Competition can also limit how far a seller can push. The FTC's own proposal acknowledges that the overall consumer effects are an empirical question and are not fully settled. But even a benefit should survive disclosure. If the offer is truly good for you, the company should not need to hide that your personal data created it. The FTC's August proposal is not a nationwide ban on personalized pricing. The agency explicitly says Congress has not given it authority to prohibit the practice in every circumstance. The proposal takes a narrower position. When people reasonably expect a price to be public or widely offered, secretly personalizing that price may be deceptive or unfair under existing law. The agency says an effective disclosure should tell the shopper 3 things: that the price is personalized, the basis for the personalization, and the types of personal data used. Not a special price just for you. Not offers may vary. Something closer to the truth. This price was calculated from an estimate of your willingness to pay, using information about your previous purchases and shopping behavior. That sentence feels uncomfortable because the practice feels different when spoken plainly. The proposed statement is open for public comment. It has not completed that process, and it does not prove that every retailer is personalizing prices today. What it does prove is that the country's Consumer Protection Agency considers the machinery real enough and the risk serious enough to put businesses on notice. You cannot personally audit a pricing algorithm, but you can make it work harder to stay invisible. When the purchase matters, record the exact product, model number, delivered total, date, and time. Compare the offer while logged in and while using a private browsing window. If practical, compare the app with an ordinary browser. Check another reputable seller before returning to the cart. The FTC itself notes that informed shoppers might use private browsing, a virtual private network, a different retailer, or decline the transaction. Treat any difference carefully. Taxes, location, inventory, membership status, and ordinary market changes can produce legitimate variation. Two different numbers are a reason to investigate, not automatic proof that personal data set the price. Look for an unavoidable disclosure saying the price is personalized. Look for what data supposedly created it. Save screenshots when a material offer changes. And remember the most important comparison: total delivered price against total delivered price. A personalized coupon is not a victory if it distracts you from a higher starting number. The system benefits when every shopper believes the screen is a public shelf. Your defense begins when you realize it may be a private sales pitch. For more than a century, a price tag faced outward. It told shoppers what a seller wanted for the item. Now a digital price can face both directions. One side shows you a number, the other side can contain a prediction about your income, your habits, your urgency, and how much resistance you are likely to offer. You were not careless for assuming the price on your screen was the price. That expectation is exactly what the FTC says ordinary shoppers reasonably carry into markets where personalized pricing has not been the norm. The unfair advantage begins when a public-looking number is secretly calculated from a private profile. So the next time a website announces that it found a deal just for you, ask the question the system hopes you never ask. Is this the price of the product or the price of me? Subscribe to They Keep You Broke and get the latest tools at theykeepyoubroke.com. Then watch our credit score investigation next. It shows how another private number about you becomes a public price charged to you. Receipts and dates are in the description. Educational content only, not financial or legal advice.